hey. Hello? Hi.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
Um, I'm sorry. I just woke up. Um,
You're all good.
what's his condition?
He is mostly stable. He isn't breathing for himself at this time. He is fully intubated. We're just going to be playing the waiting game to see how he is when he wakes up, because he was very much in the window for severe hypoxia.
Okay. Um, was was there a toxicology report or anything?
Yes, just alcohol was present in his system.
Was it a lot?
It wasn't a ridiculous amount, but it was enough that it was prevalent on the test.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna come down and visit him, I think. I'll uh
Okay,
I'll be coming from Polito, so I'll be a few minutes.
all good.
Thank you as always. I'm sorry that we have to keep meeting like this, but thank you.
I'll see you soon, hey?
Thank you, Doc. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How you doing?
I wish I could say better.
Is everything okay?
Do you know about Richard?
I was upset last. I remember. I know that.
Oh boy. Um, I just got off the phone with Dr. Kizu. He is currently in the hospital, intubated. He cannot breathe on his own, and he is currently in the ICU.
What happened?
Uh, According to Ziggy's texts, there was a family meet of some sort that didn't go very good. I don't even care about that right now. Um, Apparently somebody in the club said he was not himself and they saw him at the PD.
Mm-hmm.
Ziggy had asked for members of the club to go look, see if they could find him. And his car was found underwater next to the casino. They rushed to the hospital to see if they had an update, and um, they found Richard. And apparently, both his lungs were punctured and full of water. And um, apparently, there was also a bleed that entered his lungs. And um, yeah, yeah. He's currently sleeping at the hospital. So I'm probably going to go visit.
Mm-hmm. I should probably come.
It's up to you. I'm not going to force you. You just wake up.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry to dump this on you. I didn't want your day to start like this, but um, I need to go to the hospital. So,
I'll come. I'll get changed.
all right. You want to grab your own car? I don't know if you have other plans, but I can meet you there if you want. It's up to you.
I'll tag along in your car.
Okay. Morning, chat. So glad for you to join us today. I'm gonna need a fucking snorkel to come up for air. Thank you, Jenny, for the 23 months, and thank you, Peanut, by the way, for the 1 year. I did not miss that, but thank you. I don't mean to dump anything on you to start your day. I don't know what to say.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry for. You didn't do anything wrong. I I don't know what led him here. This doesn't sound... I don't know.
I think I probably caused it. Not caused it, but let him to fuck me off on his own.
Why would you say that? I don't want you to feel that way.
Do you know what the argument was about?
No.
He was upset. So I tried to murder someone. It's an argument. He stormed off. I tried to get a hold of him.
This was the family talk?
Yeah. On the phone call to him, he felt like he was the problem, and
He said he feels like the problem?
Yeah, he felt like the outlier in the conversation. Like, you know, he should be the one to go.
What do you mean to go?
I don't know. I didn't specify. I just tried to get him to come back.
Nobody is the problem in this family. Not a single person. Because at the end of the day, none of it fucking matters. None of it matters.
I tried telling him there's nothing wrong with having a different opinion, but he just was adamant that he didn't want to come back.
Yeah. I haven't called anybody. I don't know if anyone's around.
I saw Ziggy's text, so I tried calling him, but.
Did he text you too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what was your car doing there then?
I don't know. Last I saw it was in the ocean.
I don't think that you would keep secrets from me, right?
Hey, Dr. Kizu.
Okay.
Dr. Kizu, am I okay to enter?
if you guys want any more details from the medical side of stuff, I'm more than happy to talk to you about it.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in a second. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
I just need a second.
You're okay.
We're gonna be playing it bit by bit, see how his lung goes, like left lung is punctured, and we are gonna have to see how he is when he wakes up because he was very well looking in the window for this time. And we're
Um,
talking maybe another
I
2
I
minutes.
can't keep doing this.
Was it the top end of the fresh, like the top end of it where you usually see death, to my knowledge, from the officers say. So even to have him in this condition is probably not, even though it is scary, I know you will be.
I cannot keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. I don't know what it's gonna take for this family to come together. But I really hope you know that your opinion matters and is probably valued more than anyone's in the family. I really need you to pull through so we can work this out. You are the foundation of this family. And without you, it falls. Um, I'm sorry. if this is my fault. And all I ask is that you make a recovery. And start from scratch. I'm sorry. And I love you. Sorry. Hey,
You're all good. Rue stepped out for some air.
what's that? I'm sorry.
Rue stepped out for some air, I believe.
Okay. Um, what's the full info, I guess, for what's going on with him?
Alright. So he was brought in to me over in the ER. He was unconscious and not breathing. His airways were full of water. I was able to get the water out after a couple attempts. Two attempts. He then began to managing to get some air in on his own, but not a lot. I then took him for a set of scans. It showed a rib on his left side had punctured his left lung, and the lung had fully collapsed. He was moved to surgery where I was able to stitch the lung back together. The rib was we tried to reattach the rib and get it settled, but due to the damage, the only option ended up being removal. And during the removal attempt of the rib, it snagged and caused a bleed, caused Richard to crash. CPR was started. The bleed was then found and cauterized. He was given a rapid blood transfusion, and his vitals then began stabilizing up, and the rib was removed. Then once we had that all repaired, I checked his breathing once again. He was still struggling on his own, so that's when the call was made to secure an airways to make sure he could get enough oxygen in. I have no clue for how long he was without oxygen, but with myself alone, it was nearly 5 minutes, which the window for hypoxia is 5 to 10, and I have no clue how long he was underwater or how long it took PD to bring him here. So we could possibly be looking at brain damage when he wakes up.
Oh, Jesus.
And also, there was people that were trying to gain access into the ICU to come into him last night. And
You
PD
know,
believes it was the people that did it.
you know who it was.
They said Eugene and McGregor. They were the ones they heard outside. I could hear them yelling, but I don't know them well enough to know the voices. And I'll tell you this, McGregor did twat out as well. I don't have a photo of it. I hope someone else grabbed it. He twatted out Richard Dark, more like Richard Dead. So I'm pretty sure he's involved. I just knew that would be something you'd probably want to know.
You said Eugene and McGregor.
They were the ones that were at the door yelling, trying to gain access into the ICU to come in the dark.
Do you know how long they were here before dark came in?
He was already fully admitted to the ICU, and Ziggy was already here when they tried to gain access. It was made very clear to them that they weren't to enter, and PD was also called, and they cleared the building and they left.
Is there anything that I can bring Richard that he could use right now?
I'm unsure if you want to bring something down that's sentimental and just put it in the room. That way, if he does come round, he can see all the different bits and pieces from everyone.
I can do that. That's fine. That I can do.
But yeah, we're gonna be just it's gonna be playing it how he is when he comes around, and we'll probably need to do another set of scans to make sure his lungs holding, because it was sutured up and patched, but due to the trauma, I'm not sure how well it was gonna hold long term, because it was quite it wasn't like a massive hole, but it also wasn't small. It was pretty middle ground.
I don't know how often doctors hear this, but for how much you've done for myself and my family, um, thank you for continuing to essentially be a rock in a very hard time.
I can see that you guys have gone through a lot, and it's gonna be hard on everyone seeing Richard intubated for the fact you've just come off intubation yourself. If anyone needs anything, please just reach out. I'm more than happy to try and help.
Always, if you ever need anything, please let me know.
Alright.
I might be back down soon with something, but I want to talk to Rue, make sure she's okay.
Okay. And his other emergency contacts were notified. Ziggy was the only one around at the time that he was brought in.
Do you remember how many officers were here?
The only one officer brought him in and stayed with him for pretty much the entire process, and that was King. The other officers only came down because there was an officer in with someone that had been badly injured from an attack, and she was the one that called, and everyone else came down, and a couple of them were being a bit silly around his room and were being stupid. I know Forte stopped and talked with Ziggy and that as well when he came down at a later point, but the only people I really noticed that seemed to care were Albert and Forte.
I appreciate it.
All good.
Um, Let me go find Rue, and I will give you a call soon when I want to come back down. I might bring some blankets and stuff. So,
Okay.
all right. I'll be back soon. Thank you, Dr. Kizu.
Alright. Be safe.
Hey,
Hey, whereabouts did you go?
I am just walking along the highway at the moment.
How come?
I beat up every car on my way here. Just getting my anger out, that's all.
Let me come pick you up, because I have an area of frustration. I'm sure people could focus if they'd like. Dr. Kizu just told me something that I would probably rather have not heard. So,
Okay, I'm on lower level at the moment.
you mind pinging me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Gonna be 1071.
You go.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay, see you soon.
Bye. Oof. Oof. What's up, Chandler? Coming right off of the conversation with Sean. Did she kick our car? Bro, if my car doesn't turn on, I'm gonna run you over. Why is there blood on my car? What's going on?
I'm just frustrated.
About what? What's going on?
Like, there's more I could have done. I should have pressed more. I should have pried more. I should have.
Let me explain something to you, okay? You live a very different life than Richard does. And somewhere in the middle of your life and his life, there is an agreement. And the fact that you couldn't find middle ground the first time does not mean that there will never be a middle ground. easy to say after the fact that you feel like you could have done more. And I'm sure that's a given. There's a lot of things after the fact that I wish I could have gone back and done better. But it's how we learn. And it's how we learn about each other. And after the conversation I just had with Dr. Kizu, this was not your fault. I just found out that there are people who came to the ICU and tried to break into the ICU. And those people apparently were tweeting out things like Richard Dark, more like Richard Dead.
Who?
That is the same question I asked. And Dr. Kizu said the only two people she could hear, not see but hear, was Eugene and McGregor. In Ziggy's text, he stated that he was robbed. If he was robbed and they don't know who robbed him, I beg the fucking question. How those two fucking... I don't even have words. I don't even have words, Rue. Those two rat fucks would have known to come to the ICU to try breaking in. And the worst part about it was that there were only 2 officers who showed up and were respectful. According to what I was told, there were only 2 that came to show
2 officers.
any respect. There were more. But according to the doctor, I didn't even ask for names because I know who I'm going to talk to about it. Other officers showed up and apparently were rude and joked about it. I'm going to have to take this call.
You're good.
Give me just a second. Hey.
Hey, how are you doing? Are you okay?
No.
What's up?
My father is in the ICU. with a double puncture with an internal bleed. And I was given names of people who possibly did it.
My God, very sorry to hear that.
I had full plans on coming back to work today. And that put a huge damper in my plans.
Who was her father, or who's her father?
Richard Dark.
Like, is he stable?
As stable as he probably could be. He was found at the bottom of a lake with his car crashed, with alcohol in his blood. And according to the doctor, they don't know how long he was out with oxygen. But the doctors suspect that he may have permanent brain damage.
Bob, I am so sorry. Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't think me coming back to work right now is a good idea. I
That's
think
not
that
what I asked.
I'm sorry.
No, you're completely fine. Like, do you want me to get you a cup of tea? Like, would that help cheer you up a little bit?
Maybe in a little bit. Maybe when I figure out how to feel about everything. I'm a little confused right now.
Well, I'll admit, as much as I would love to stay awake and be there for you, I do need to go to sleep very soon. The fact that your shift 3 really sucks with this, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Well, there is something I do want to tell you at some point, but I don't know if over the phone is the right time. I will say this, though. Regardless of who sees it or not, you will always be a leader in that PD. And there's not many people who I look up to in our chain of command. But I know that you were the perfect pick for this shift. And probably the only pick.
Appreciate that coming from you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But please, I can't even begin to imagine what you're going through right now. So I'm not even gonna bother with all of that. I know how you must feel or anything like that. Because I don't. To find out about that, I'm very sorry for what you must be going through.
I appreciate it. I'm not looking for anything right now, but was there a particular reason you were calling that I could help you with? Because I have no problem talking if you needed.
Oh, it's been a while since I've talked with you, so I just wanted to call and see how you were doing.
No, I appreciate that. I was in the ICU. I was kidnapped by Hydra. And I'd like to think that I talked myself out of a bullet, but they fed me to a mountain lion. And I'm lucky to be alive. But I've been scared to go back to work. I'm afraid to do my job. And I don't think I could, in good faith, do my job right now. After the experience I went through with Hydra.
No, I will admit I read the report a couple days ago. I I don't know how Shift 3 handles stuff like that, but I feel like that should have definitely been a warrant.
It's a little sad that you say that, because I've been told now by 2 people that should have been a warrant. So I don't know if there's an actual delay, but I wish I could have a say in it.
Did you know who wrote the report up? I guess I don't remember that part.
I believe it was Crystal who wrote the report, but I don't know who was leading it. I think it was probably Maple. Maple's the one that took my statement. I'll talk to him.
Well, hey, you got bigger stuff on your plate right now. Let me try to sort that. With your father, take the time you need. Like, if you catch any help from it, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at this point. I think you and I are both aware. I'm not afraid to speak my mind at this point.
I know.
And the fact that they might pressure you over this, no, I won't stand for that. It might be a different shift, but we still wear the same uniform.
That we do. I appreciate that, and I will keep that in mind. If anything comes up, I'll let you know.
Right? It's very unfortunate that I can't necessarily be in your shift, but at least I have support from a shift 2 sergeant.
Thank you. Just know that if you need anything or you want to talk at some point in the coming days, you let me know.
Same thing right back to you. If you need somebody to talk to, do not hesitate to reach out.
I won't. And you have my word on that.
I will let you go. If you need anything tomorrow, I should be around quite a bit.
I should be around. I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Okay. Take care. Rest easy.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You as well. Bye bye.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's gone past twice.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. You okay?
Pardon?
I said, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing alright.
I'm sorry. That was probably one of the few actual good officers who I am proud to stand next to.
Who was it?
Callista Bell. She just told me pretty much if anyone gives me flack for not being at work, she has no problem going to whoever in command and bitching them out for treating me poorly, which, to be honest with you, at this point in my life, I just don't care if they did.
Well, I care.
I know you do. So what was your reason for walking away and being frustrated? Because I don't want you to feel like you're feeling right now for anything.
Yeah. I wouldn't take back anything I said. It was the truth. Why would I lie?
Mhm.
But I feel like I could have pried more, pressed more, just try to get, you know, his location or something like that. At the very least.
Mm-hmm. I get that. I'm Go ahead. I'm sorry.
On top of that, reading Ziggy's message. There was a bit where he said Richard was likely drunk and driving to get away from whoever was following him.
I'm just gonna repair real quick. Unless you want to stay here, I have no problem staying here.
Yeah, I'm happy hanging out.
The doctors did tell me that in his toxicology report, they did find alcohol.
Mm.
I I don't know. He never texted me. He never notified me. Unlike him.
I don't think he was reaching out to anyone. It took a lot of phone calls to get through to him. I started using a payphone. He was dodging all of Edda's texts. He was dodging Sean.
Oh man. I don't even know if now's the time to explain this. But I'm going to, in case you see him before I do. Richard is a very unique father. He's old school to the bone. He is very old school. And it's taken me a long time to really know my father. My father, your grandfather, has a hard time dealing with emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And when something bothers him, where you and I may get frustrated, get mad, and have an outburst, Richard starts with an outburst and works his way back. And from what it sounds like to me, this time, he started with an outburst. And it sounds like the outburst caught up to him. And that's something that always hurt me with Richard, is that he always works backwards emotionally. But the part that hurts me the most right now is the thought that the doctors don't know how long he was without oxygen. And I was told and informed that he may have permanent brain damage.
Yeah, I had a bit of a chat with Kizu before I left the hospital. It sounds like he's lucky to be alive right now.
Rue, I never want you to think that what happened was your fault. I don't even have the context. But I don't want you blaming yourself for anything.
As I said before, I gave him all honest answers, so there's no regret or remorse there, because I'd feel guilty if I was sitting there lying to him.
Matt appreciates honesty up front. To Matt, your word is almost contractual. To,
He probably hates me.
why?
Because of what I did yesterday.
What happened yesterday?
Try to kill Judas. And Matt was the person, one of the officers to respond. And it's pretty damning that it was me who did it.
You have a warrant.
Not yet. I don't know for certain if Judas is alive or what state he's in right now.
I can give you my suggestion, but it goes against what you know.
Hmm.
If you get a warrant, I recommend you turn yourself into Matt directly. Because I guarantee you, he's already made up his mind.
That depends if I get a warrant and what that warrant's for.
What's the difference between owning it and not?
It's the going the prison side of things that, yeah.
I would do anything to make sure that you were fine in there. But I know that that's not enough. Because I know that there's more to it. And I'm sorry about that. I mean, respectfully, even I don't agree that you went ahead and did that to him.
I don't expect you to.
Did he do something? Did he say something?
He texted me saying he'd spoken to you when you were in the ICU. And that was the last thing I needed to read when all I wanted to do was go and buy fucking bottles of alcohol.
I know. I know. I know this isn't what you want to hear. And I know that now's not the time. But we know who Judas is. We know that he has his quirks and his problems. I don't think his words deserve him losing his life. And I guarantee you that that's the thought process that Matt's gonna have. It is the only thing that I see Matt having a problem with is the thought that words would result in someone possibly losing their life.
He had been pushing my buttons for a very long time.
I know. You know a complaint for harassment in the PD actually gets taken care of, right? That was my job. And that is for now still my job.
I know, but I get seen going to the PD over that. Not good.
No one said you had to go inside the PD. There's other ways around that. I'll be honest, I don't know if you'll ever remend that with Matt. That's an action and a consequence. But I don't want you to feel like your honesty with Richard was an action to his consequence. So what happened to Richard was not your fault. It may seem weird, strange to say, maybe to go as far as to say, different to say, considering what we've all been through recently. But Richard is the foundation to this family. He has a really weird way of showing it, and a weird way of expressing it. And it took me very long to get to understand how Richard thinks. But I would do anything to defend that man. Even when I forgot who he was. And I will never see those memories again. That was the man that regrounded me. And that was the man who reincorporated me back into this family. And I owe him my life. His family is all I have.
When he's out of that hospital, it sounds like he needs to be reincorporated as well.
I will make it my only goal. If that's what it needs to be.
I'm happy to help out any way I can.
We'll figure that out. We'll figure it out, and wherever things go, we'll do it as a family.
Yeah. I conversation him and I had the other day. He had heard some of the fucked up shit I'd done. I think he was well aware of what I'm capable of. I don't know if he fully actually processed those are things I had done and can do. He seemed very shocked when he heard what I did last night.
Do you know how he reacted to your first conversation with him? Did he keep it to himself? Did you guys talk about it?
I don't think so. Was he not happy with the first conversation him and I had, or?
That I don't know. I was more asking how he responded to everything.
Last night, or when we had a bit more of a sit down about stuff I had done?
What did you tell him last night?
What I'd done to Judas. I told him I didn't regret what I did.
Did you give him any context?
Yeah, I did.
And what did you tell him?
Told him about the text, told him about you'd been pushing my buttons constantly. He hyper-focused on that I'd hurt an officer.
Completely reasonable response from Richard. Albeit, more I've spent out of that building, the more that I have seen people fail to impress me. And the police department failed to give Richard the respect that he deserved.
You're saying only 2 officers rocked up?
Multiple. There were multiple officers. And only 2 of them gave a shit. And according to Dr. Kizu, only 1 of them showed up with him. Nobody else.
That's pretty fucking abysmal.
There are things that I would love to do. But instead of burning that bridge, I'm gonna go to the officer. The only officer that gave a shit. And tell him that I said thank you.
Which officer was that?
Albert King. Albert's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I'd go as far as to say that he's one of the few that I would willingly take a bullet for.
Seems to be a common occurrence when I hear someone from the PD's in the hospital. None of the co-workers or the officers seem to really care.
It's a hard line to follow because to an outsider from the PD, somebody who has not done the job, it seems like the police department does not care. But even I know that if we dropped everything every time someone went to the ICU, the UPD would spend more time in that hospital ward than on duty. Because we have a lot of people that find themselves in the ICU. And I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is if you are going to show up, act like you give a fuck. And if you're not going to act like you give a fuck, don't show up.
How many people rocked up that didn't give a shit?
There wasn't a specific number, but I'm going to speak with Albert and I'm going to have a conversation with him. Because from the sounds of it, it was either very late in my shift or just starting in his. And I want to make sure that whoever did show up is fucking ridiculed. And I will make sure that there is a very clear line that the police department failed to care about one of their own.
Did you want them to join Judas?
No.
Okay.
As for Eugene and McGregor, if they washed up on shore, I wouldn't give a fuck. I was busy that day.
I'll keep that in mind.
You didn't hear that from me.
I don't know what you just said.
I heard that you overheard a conversation at the hospital, and those names were brought up. But you don't know who said it.
Yeah, no idea.
Trust me, I'd do it myself if I could.
There's always putting stuff on the back burner.
Those names just might.
If you'd rather them on the back burner, I'm, happy to bide my time.
Let's focus on stitching up an infected wound in this family before we open up another one, please.
Understood.
Because from the sounds of it, it sounds like Matt has made his decision. And it sounds like Richard walked out with a decision in mind. And I want to do whatever I can to hopefully bring that back.
As I said before, I'm in the same boat. I'll do whatever I can to help.
I'm going to suggest that maybe one thing to help for now. I want to keyword that for now. Let's try and pump the brakes on the personal murders.
Mm-hmm. I had people on the back burner, but no one immediately.
Oh, I have names in mind. I have ideas already going through my head. My dad is my priority right now.
That's understandable.
I really wish Ziggy was around so I could talk with him, but I doubt it.
I tried calling him just before.
Yeah, he's not gonna answer.
Are you doing okay?
Truthfully, I don't know. I think because of everything that's gone on recently, I am numb to how I should feel. Because now 4 times in a row, I thought I was at my lowest. And it seems to continue going deeper than I would have ever thought it would go. And mentally, I did not prepare for this.
I don't think anyone can prepare for this, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can I help in any way, shape, or form?
Just be there for the family.
I'm already doing that.
I know. I know. Can I ask what may seem unconventional, but I'll I'll give you the context.
Mm-hmm.
What is JT's full name?
Jason Tyrell.
You know when he's normally around?
All over the shop. Sometimes nowish. Sometimes a bit later next storm.
If you see him, can you pass my number to him?
Yeah, I can.
JT is the one who recognized that Richard seemed a little quote unquote off. And I think if it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd see a chance of ever seeing my father again. And I want to thank him.
Absolutely. I'll pass your number on.
Thank you. I don't know what to do today, but I do know that I want to go to the PD and go read that report, which I should not do, but I do not care. Do you want me to bring you somewhere and I can call you when I'm done?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you drop me at the hospital?
Yeah. Everything okay there?
Yeah.
Can I ask what you're going to do at the hospital?
Check in on Richard.
Okay. I promise you anything unanswered, I will have answers for. I don't want to leave it on Dr. Kizu, because it's not her responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me a few days to get the answers, and I will share them as I get them.
Thank you.
Mm. Get over to the hospital. I'll come check on you as soon as I'm done. I shouldn't be too long.
Oh, good.
Do you happen to have any food?
Yeah, I do actually.
I'll
Got a
pick.
box.
Thank you. I'll pick up some food for us, and I'll bring you a few meals.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll bring Richard some actual food.
Yeah, fuck that hospital shit.
I haven't done fucking Jello in God knows how long, but every time I go, they feed me fucking Jello.
Ugh.
Shit's disgusting. There's always the sugar-free shit.
Oh, that's even worse. May as well just be eating dirt.
Pretty much what it fucking tastes like, unfortunately. Alright. Let me let you off here on the side, and just call me if you need anything, okay?
Alright. Same goes for you.
Yeah, just remember, this was not your fault. I don't want you to blame yourself.
I won't.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright. I'll give you a call here soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Oof, man. a rough day for Flop. I think for Flop today, this goes beyond just sad. Flop is angry. What the fuck is that? Guess you're stupid. Fuck. Well, the last day wasn't rough for Flop. God only knows. That conversation with Rue is rough because Flop already knows that Matt has probably already made up his mind. If Matt responded and it's very like evident that Rue was the one to do it to Judas, it doesn't matter what Judas said to Rue. The point that Flop is trying to work on with Rue is that regardless of what words were said from Judas, even if Judas was wrong, Flop's whole thing about making the promise to make Rue, or to help Rue, I should say, be better, is to let her know that words should not constitute immediate violence. Words should not constitute a person's life. Even if Judas was wrong. Flop's trying to do the more, I guess, quote unquote, fatherly thing to make that point. Again, and I will reiterate again, even if Judas was wrong. Flop knows he'll never, rehabilitate Rue, but as long as he can help Rue think before she does, is sort of his goal. What's up, David? I wanted to say, been enjoying the RP immensely lately. Thank you, David. I appreciate you. Thank you. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I got my throat all choked up right now from everything today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you lurking and being here and supporting. It's been a lot of fun. It's been good, we'll say. I wonder how many people don't have Flop's new number. I am curious. Oh God, this is not the right number. I forgot I had this sim. I've heard the last time we did this. It's probably been a few days. We'll see. Oh no, dude. No, no, no. God damn it, Richard. That's so sad, actually. That's so fucking sad. Oh, Sky, if only you knew. That's actually so sad, man. McGregor, you stupid son of a bitch. Flop a text Albert and just say, hey, thank you. Because it's the least he could do. Damn, dude. At the time, Officer Pierce noticed a SWAT go out from Miguel Emelian, stating he smoked that flop pack, and 911 went out over dispatch shortly after, stating that Flop lost his duel with a murder kitty because he's not the park ranger he once was. You know, it is kind of crazy to think that that wasn't a 911. He put himself on scene with that 911. Or, sorry, that wasn't a warrant, I should say. All right, Flop. Why don't we say we just get the fuck out of here? Go buy food for Rue and Flop. Appreciate you all being here and hanging out as always. I do appreciate it. I know that it's been constant Sag RP. Yo, I'm gonna butcher your name and I am so sorry. Oyampic? Oyampic? Or sorry, Oyamic. Oyamic? I'm trying. Thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Welcome everybody. Hello, I'm Chris. I play Flop. I appreciate it. Brew, what's going on? Thanks for the 14 months. Appreciate the support. I don't know if we'll ever come up for fucking air, man. Holy shit. Love from Lottie. I'm gonna go back and save more lives. Oh, Lottie. I know your name. Jesus. I'm like, I know that name. Good old Lottie. I don't know how I have any tears left to cry. You know, I'm not gonna say anything or spoil it, but I had to write something today on my laptop. A couple hours ago before I got on stream. And I won't lie. Started tearing up over it because there's a lot that's gonna be coming. I'm not gonna spoil, but it's gonna be a lot. What the fuck is this? If you guys don't follow Lottie, be sure to go drop a follow, please. I would greatly appreciate it. I can guess, but I won't. I'm gonna tell you that speculating probably won't be worth it. You probably won't know. Give me just a minute. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. And I guess we're gonna go see Rue. So, should be good. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry. Yeah, roleplay's been a lot recently, man. It's been good. It's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it, but it's definitely a lot to it's a lot to take in, and it's a lot to I guess follow through with, but I think this is probably the lowest his character has ever been in, if you can imagine, 5 years. Not like in character 5 years has passed. I mean like 5 years is in 5 actual years. It's getting close. By January of 25 will be 5 years I've been playing Flop. But in all that time, I think this is beyond the lowest this character's ever been. So a lot of good role play is going to come out of it. There's going to be a lot of big jumps. I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions, but I think right now the big thing for Flop as a character is that the job does not matter to him right now. So in the last 2 weeks, we've dealt with probably all the emotional terrorism that continues to come, and I had my first actual, keyword actual, perma roll for Flop, which is a little wild to think about. A lot to happen in such a short time. And I think the fact that Flop is not dead, I think that there is definitely another... I did say that there would be a lot of repercussion for what happened with Miguel. I would not let that RP go unscathed. I think that there's a lot that's going to continue to happen because of that. So whatever happens moving forward, blame Hydra. Thanks, Miguel. Food? Flop's gonna go to get food with Rue instead. Fuck, did we grab the old or the new phone? We did. Okay, thank God. Hail Hydra. Dr. Kizu's great. Actually, we should probably call Rue and make sure. Also, whatever's happening right now on duty, they have a helicopter out. So whatever the fuck is going on, I'm assuming someone got killed. Oh, fuck. Wait a minute.
How you doing?
Okay, thank God it's not Rue. I don't know. I checked my other phone. My problem with the other phone was that the... Where are you at?
I'm sitting next to Richard's ICU bed.
Hopefully they left these open. They did. Hey.
Yo, should we make some tracks out of here?
Probably here in a second, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a work phone, or at least that's what I told people.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared about everything that was happening a while back with the war. And I haven't had that phone on me in a while, but about once a week I check my texts.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
from the
let's
scans,
let's make
compare
tracks
him
out of
to
here.
the
That scared the fuck out of me.
last
Jesus
visit.
Christ. My head rattled.
The condition that is causing potentially those motor functions
Hmm?
We're gonna stop and grab food. I figured I'd pick you up first.
Yeah, you're good.
Because God only knows at Senior Buns, it's either a 5-minute ordeal or a 15-minute ordeal while I wait for EMS.
Yep, absolutely.
The, real quick, my other
Hmm?
phone had a text from one person 15 hours ago. It was Richard. And it stated, please call me. I'm sorry. He texted the wrong number. And I don't know how to feel about that.
He was saying it was up before how he hadn't reached out to you, but
I figured with everything, and while I was at the PD, it was a better time now than ever. I just had to know. I did send him a text back with the new number. Hopefully he'll remember to call it.
I hope so.
I don't know what he'll do if he doesn't. But we'll go grab some food.
He'll call it. He might have texted that one because he knows not to call the other. Well, text the other number.
Maybe. I think that ship has sailed. And that's okay.
Not text that number.
I'm gonna continue not texting it, but Ziggy kind of let everything out, which is okay.
Mm-hmm. I sent Hank a text.
Okay. That's appreciated.
It's keeping him in the loop.
I appreciate it. I know it may seem small, but whatever we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hold on.
You okay?
It's kind of a loaded question right now, but, you know. I'm trying. I'm trying to figure out if, trying to figure out how to feel right now after everything I've learned. I'm trying to bury all my emotions and just focus
Why are you
on,
trying to bury?
because if I were to surface the emotions I'm really feeling right now, I'd be in prison. If you want to know the truth.
We can go beat cars up and blow them up. That sometimes helps. Oh, you don't end up in prison if we're smart about it.
I want to close a chapter before I open a new one.
Understandable.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Um,
Yeah, it's not horrible. Yeah. All we have to stay the night.
a loaded question right now, but I'm doing.
All right. Well, you're surviving. That's important. What can we get for you?
Could I get
Because we're here, yeah.
5 combos of your choice?
5 combos? Sure
Mm.
thing.
I get a question for you, Flop. Come over here.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Do you need any extra drinks?
I'll take a couple extra drinks. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Go ahead and swipe, please.
Only $800? Damn, dude. How does Chatterbox make his fucking money?
It's really nothing. It's completely fine. Yeah. Sometimes it's a lot, but today's a little bit.
Oh my God, everybody's here now. Okay, hold up.
Hey. Oops, sorry. All right, there you go. Everything is in the bag. Please feel free to check.
Awesome. Let me take a look. Perfect.
You have a great day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Roman, I'll stay put for you.
No. It's all good. You go deal with whatever you gotta deal with.
I'll do this. I don't know if you have that number, but that's my work number.
Did not have that one.
Okay. Yep.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Jesus Christ, does it fucking end? Hello.
That issue. What's going on with you? Why are you sounding so sad, Panda?
I have someone close to me in the ICU. And
Who?
Richard.
Oh. Who fucked him up?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We'll go burn their house down?
My house?
Who? The person who did it. Go fucking torch their house. Do some terroristic shit on their stuff.
Honestly, the less I know, the better. But if I ever find out who did it, I'm gonna need a bailout.
That's all right, Flop. When you start crashing off the deep end, just let me know. I got you, mate.
Oh, I'm off the deep end already. Mark my fucking word.
Wait, you are?
It's
You're
good.
not a cop?
Oh, I'm a cop. For now.
Oh. Okay. Why are
Now,
you off the deep end? Well, because it's dark?
no, it's more than just Richard. It's a culmination of everything. It's Richard. It's I just came out of the ICU. I've had a lot going on, and
Okay.
there's been a lot. It's been,
Oh,
you know.
well, I know you're with someone else, so I'm not going to hold your time up. But if you want to have a chat about it, you want to go fucking set fire to the world and go crazy, you know where to find me. All right.
You got my word. I'm sure we'll have a conversation soon.
You know that I can be quite level-headed, but if you want to go off the fucking deep end and full send it, I'll go off with you, mate. Don't worry.
I appreciate it. I'll be keeping you in touch, Reggie. Don't you worry.
Ah, talk to you in a bit, Flop. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. That was Reggie, mate.
Everything okay?
Yeah, he called and pretty much said, "Holy shit, that is you. Why the fuck does it sound like you're off the deep end?" And I said, "I already am." And he said, "Well, if you want to set fire to the world, I'll be by your side."
Think a few of us will be there.
They're gonna need a fucking coach bus to fit all of us.
Absolutely.
Let me get you your food real quick. There you go. It's in the glove box. It's all yours.
Thank you.
I gave Ziggy an extra blanket, hoping that he'll I don't know. I saw Ziggy's face was dried with blood, which is not a good sign.
I noticed that as well.
You know if he's been using?
To my knowledge, no. And if he was, I'm pretty sure he'd be upfront about it.
When it rains, it fucking pours.
You don't have to answer.
It's Maple.
Well, never mind then.
Hello.
Flop.
Hey.
I got a text. I don't know who it's from. About Richard.
Dr. Kizu.
Okay.
Most likely.
I don't think Dr. Kizu would text me and say I love you. I don't. It was either, I think, Ziggy or Rue. I don't know which one. It was like 4 paragraphs about Richard.
Yeah, that was Ziggy.
Okay. Okay.
That had to be Ziggy, because I also got 4 paragraphs from Ziggy.
Okay. I must not have this number saved then. Okay.
Was it about Richard's status and how someone found him and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Ziggy.
Okay. It was a miss last night, Flop.
I heard. I'm actually with Rue right now, and we're just kind of talking, and I'm trying to figure it all out myself. I got a text last night from Richard. I checked my old phone. Because I was at the PD. I hate to say it, probably going against my better judgment, and I read the report because I wanted to just get more context before I spoke with Albert. Oh, I don't fit through here, god damn it. I am not happy with what I saw, and from what Dr. Kizu told me, Sean, I am concerned, upset, and I am above all mad at a good portion of the PD right now.
Okay. What I don't know. I don't know what happened. I haven't been on duty. I wasn't on duty when it happened. I just woke up now.
No, I know.
The last, like, what happened? Like, why?
Apparently, there were a doctor. Dr. Kizu noticed a tweet go out by somebody. I forget who. I'll talk to Dr. Kizu and figure out who. But she saw a tweet go out that said Richard Dark, more like Richard Dead. And while Dr. Kizu was at the hospital, she overheard people trying to break into the ICU. And she said that she heard Eugene and she heard McGregor. And apparently one officer brought Richard in, and that was Albert King.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently other officers showed up to the ICU as well, because they were there for, I guess, a separate reason. And from what Dr. Kizu told me, most officers came there and were quote unquote being shitheads.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you that if I ever find out who was in that ICU room, they're going to find out how I really fucking feel.
Yeah. I would like to know as well.
Yeah. I'm with Rue, and I've already told her that I don't condone what happened yesterday. I said, but right now, I want to worry about Richard and making sure that he's okay. He has a double lung puncture and internal bleed. And is currently being intubated and cannot breathe on his own. And above it all, apparently, is that you?
Pretty sure that's his car.
Where? I
Del
don't know
Perro?
where you.
Stop at the petrol station.
I actually did just go past Del Perro, but
Look
I
behind
was
you.
going to the gas station. Oh, yeah, what's up?
What are you doing?
Refilling.
You don't have to do that.
Too late.
Thank you. From what Dr. Kizu had said, though, she doesn't know how long he was without oxygen, but she has pretty strong confirmation and concern that Richard probably has permanent brain damage from the lack of oxygen.
Right. Edda is going to be horrible. And when I say horrible, I mean worse than she has ever been before. The last thing that she talked to Richard, the last thing that he said to her was that he thought he raised his family better than this and walked away. I was able to get a hold of him afterwards and speak to him. Want to go somewhere so we can talk, not at a gas station?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me. Thank you, Rue.
You're good.
I'll follow you.
Just
Anywhere.
do you want to go home?
That's up to you. That's fine.
What was Maple saying?
Apparently the last thing he told Etta was, quote unquote, I thought I raised my family better than this. The man is scared. The man is depressed. And he coped with alcohol because he didn't have anyone else to lean on. Or at least he felt like he didn't have anyone else to lean on. And I feel like I failed to remind him.
You didn't fail at all. You're gonna be there when he gets out of the ICU. You'll be there to support him. You'll be able to put him back on his feet. Everyone stumbles, everyone struggles from time to time. They just need people to help them when they're ready to get back up. He was pushing everyone away last night. No one could get a hold of him.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. And I need to remind myself of that. Cran, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate you. Thank you. You guys have been so supportive of everything going on, and I cannot thank you enough. I am so humbled and thankful for
When
all
he's
of your
recovered enough to
support
come
from
back
everybody.
home, he's gonna have
I'm
a lot of people to help
eternally
him.
grateful for all of you. Thank you, Cran. Bunch of hearts in chat, please. What was that last bit that you said?
When he's recovered enough to come back home, he's gonna have a lot of people around to help him.
I think part of this conversation with Maple that I'm going to want you obviously there for. This is a family matter. I think this comes down to I need people to put their differences aside. And I think we need to focus on one thing. And we'll know when that time is. No, Crayon, you're fine. The amount of support from everybody has been phenomenal. You have an amazing rest of your night. Thank you so much for the 10. Thank you to all of you. Somebody asked earlier if we hit the jelly bean goal. We did. I haven't had a chance to do it because of everything going on. I have not forgotten. I literally am looking at it right now. It's on my desk. We'll get to it eventually. I promise. Bean Boozle goal was in fact hit. Some more private's probably better. So.
Yeah.
No, you're good. This is fine. I don't mind if we go to the roof.
Oh.
If you want.
Yeah, let's go to the roof.
I appreciate you checking in, Maple. I'm sorry if things have not been.
You're sorry for what?
I said I'm sorry if things haven't been as communicated as they should be.
You're fine. I mean, me and Sky specifically told kind of most everyone at PE to
Oh
just
my
kind of give you your
God.
space and let you take your time because we didn't want to pester you and
No,
berate you and try and
You're-
overwhelm you.
you're good.
Oh shit.
It doesn't end. It doesn't fucking end. I'm gonna throw my chair out a fucking window is what I'm gonna do. Ah. Etta.
Mhm.
Hey. You can come sit, Rue.
Is he?
Still intubated, but his vitals are stable. Ziggy's currently at the hospital, sleeping next to him.
He never responded to any of my messages.
No.
Do they know who it was?
I don't have a definitive, but I know what Dr. Kizu told me. He told me that 2 people were knocking at the ICU door trying to break in.
Was it Mac and Reed?
I don't know about Reed, but I do know definitively that McGregor's name has come up in the past, and Dr. Kizu heard McGregor outside the room. She said the other person was Eugene, but she only heard them and she didn't see them.
Ziggy. I warned him this morning. I was worried that he was by himself. Because McGregor and Reed have been terrorizing him for months.
I know. And I know this is...
What are the police gonna do? Probably nothing.
I don't want to be the one to say it, Etta, but I don't think they've done anything. There is one thing I will say, and this goes without fail. If there is anybody that deserves a thank you out of any of this, it is Albert King. From what I understand, he is, I think, the only officer who responded.
Is that so?
I don't know for a fact, but Dr. Kizu said to me that Albert King came in alone with Richard.
Well, there might have been another active, right? Something far more important than one of their own being attacked, right?
I think you and I are on a very similar wavelength on that. The other person, if you happen to see them, I'm going back in my text. Give me a second. Was actually a member of the club.
Which one?
I believe it was JT.
I like JT. I'm gonna wait and see. Try and talk to Albert later. We have to give them the chance to do something about it, right? But if they don't do something, then sometimes dogs need to be put down. I'm already on the way out of this family anyways, so
Don't say that.
why not go out with a bang?
Don't say that.
You didn't hear Dad. He ignored my text messages and phone calls for an hour.
He ignored everybody, Etta. He was drunk.
And now he's clinging to life in the ICU. I do want to talk to Albert, because like I said, I brought this up the last time that Mac and Reed were going after Dad. They broke into the house across the street while he was there, and he locked them inside. The police responded, so there should be some record of it, hopefully.
I checked, and there is. It was a little over 2 months ago.
I feel at the very least we could possibly push the ego act.
I think ego's 30 days.
Well, there has to be more. There has to be something that can be done. Because, like I said, this isn't the first time, or the second, or the third, that they specifically have targeted Dad. And I think we all owe it to our fathers to allow the police to do their job. But if they don't, then, well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
The only thing I'm gonna say is that Richard cares about this family. And I know he had something in mind. Because he always starts at 100 and works backwards. You are not on your way out of this family. Richard is not on his way out of the family. No one is on their way out.
I was able to speak with Richard last night before on the phone. I did get through to him eventually. During the whole conversation that we had up here on the roof, I didn't really say anything. But I did tell him on the phone after the fact, and I explained that I don't agree with what happened to Judas, but I understand the perspective in which Rue is coming from as to why it was done. And I explained that that was also similarly Edda's standpoint on it.
I mean, I've dealt with somebody myself that just kept
Won't take
pushing
no.
and kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing, and then finally I had to put a bullet in his head because he would not respond to anything else. And this was, long before I was part of the family, which, I mean, doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but I lived a different life then.
Regardless, I spoke to him for about 7 minutes. I asked him for 5 minutes. I said my piece over those 5 minutes, which is everything I basically just said now. I just kind of paraphrased it now. And he said to me that he thought that maybe he was the one who needed to go.
I don't understand.
he understood Etta making the comment about her having shot somebody in the past as justification. And it seemed like he was very caught on the fact that, well, with Judas being a cop. Again, like I mentioned already, I don't agree with it. Not something that I think should have happened, but I understand why it happened.
It would have happened regardless if he was a cop or not.
And that's what I understand as well. I know that that's the case. I know him being a cop has nothing to do with it. It's just an additional variable. Like I said, like as Richard said last night, he is a coworker, he is a friend, he is someone we know and work alongside. And again, it puts us in a very difficult position. But as I said now, like I don't agree with it, but I understand why it happened. I get it. I'm not holding it against you. I'm not. It's not something I would do, probably ever. But you and I are very different people. And again, I understand. Sometimes there's not very many other options left.
I
He
also told him that just because he's a cop, it doesn't mean that he's somehow given leeway either.
No.
Who was this in reference to? I'm sorry.
The stuff with Judas, like, I mean, because he tried to liken what happened between Rue and Judas to what happened to you with Hydra, and I
I would
said
have
that's
skipped him up on or off duty. I didn't
it's
care.
completely different too, because you didn't do anything. You were targeted just because of who you were. You weren't even one of the offending cops that hurt their fifis. Whereas Judas was personally responsible for manipulating a traumatic event in Rue's life with someone that she loves dearly and using that to somehow manipulate an excuse to have a sleepover that. What? Would I have set him on fire? No. Would I have shot him? Maybe. Probably. Because that's just going above and beyond fucking weird. And given the fact that he had already just ignored every other attempt for her to tell him to fuck off, I mean, I don't care if he's a fucking cop.
So, with that conversation that I was able to have with Richard on the phone afterwards, he also did mention that he doesn't quite believe that I hold that standpoint because I didn't speak my mind during the conversation. I mean, I didn't really honestly feel like it was entirely my place yet to speak my mind during that conversation. But I also like to take my time before I just kind of say things and think on things before I speak them. He didn't believe me. He was very much not happy, understandably so. And like I said, saw it as justification for actions when it's not necessarily what it was. An understanding of perspective, I don't believe, is justification for an action. But, I mean, what has happened has happened. We can't go back in time and change things. And I wouldn't expect them to, because as you said multiple times, Rue, you would do it again.
Absolutely.
No, I just wanted to make sure that that was known. The conversation that I did have with Richard about it all.
It sounds like I missed a lot. And I wasn't there to know the full context. I am, like I told you, Maple, respectfully disgusted with what Dr. Kizu told me. And the only thing I care about right now is making sure that he comes home and focusing on making sure that he recovers.
What is it that you're disgusted about?
There was only, according to Dr. Kizu, one officer who showed up. And that was Albert. And I'm okay with that. What I was not okay with was I asked Dr. Kizu if it was just Albert in the ICU. And she said no, a lot of officers showed up. And she told me that there were only two that were professional. And that the other ones were not. And as she put it, they were saying and apparently doing dumb shit. And I told Rue right before I ran into you, Maple, that I understand if the police department doesn't always show up to the ICU for one of their own, because it happens, and if we did every time, we would never be on the streets. But on that same coin, on the opposing side, if you're going to show up to the ICU and be a dumbass, you were better off not showing up at all.
I want to know who it was.
I'm going to talk with King. I've already informed Maple. And I'm going to make sure that that gets sorted above everything. That is beyond a promise. I will make sure that that is resolved.
And I want to make sure that this case against whoever did this to him doesn't get forgotten about like all the other shit that's happened to us.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I don't know if this gives you a little inkling of hope, but the other day I was off duty and King called me and asked me about a case that I was supposedly supposed to lead with Hydra. And I told him that I could not. And he said that he wants to, quote unquote, make sure that it's not forgotten about like the rest of them. King came to me with that. If there's anyone who I trust right now in the PD to make sure something isn't forgotten about, it is that guy. He is the only one And when I told him I couldn't take the case, I pointed reference to other members of the CIB. And King said that he wants to make sure he lights a fire under the ass of everybody because he doesn't want that being forgotten about. So, if there's anybody I'm glad responded, without a doubt it is Albert.
Same.
Not that this has any merit right now, Maple, because it doesn't matter. But has there been any updates with my case?
I spoke briefly with Forte about it. He is the one who is running it by the looks of it.
What?
Hold on, before we jump the gun. The other officer who was supposedly being respectful and professional with Richard was Forte, surprisingly. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Okay.
I spoke briefly with him about it. He might end up speaking with me again about it, or might get in touch with you, Etta, about it. But I let him know when he spoke to me that all of the information from you is in the report already, because it was simply a call saying that you believe that he was taken. That's all the information we know. Essentially, everything we know is in that report already.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what else, anything else really from it.
And the
Investigations
documented
never
tweets
really.
were in there as well.
Yeah, myself and Greenway had taken care of that when it happened.
Thank you. Thank you again. And thank Paul, please.
Oh well. So I don't have really any more updates on that aside from he is the one that is now taking the helm of it.
Yeah. He deserves credit too for that. Etta, there is something that I am going to tell you, and I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's no secret, and if you spoke with Dr. Kizu, she would tell you too. They don't know how long he was without oxygen,